मुंह ऊपर करो। हाँ कान फटने जाने पिछोड़े ऊपर उठा कर रखो ऐसे ही बने रहो। कौन तो एक ही तो मरीज है, मरीज तो तुम और ज्यादा बन जाओगे इससे।
क्या हो गया?
ये मरीज है, इस निडल वगैरह लग रही है।
एक आदमी उतरो, एक के साथ एक जाएगा, उतरो। चलो सब दूरी बना के दूरी बना लो। एक चार फिर से गिनो। हंस रहा है। बैठो बिना कान के बैठो, तो कान छोड़ो। हाँ ऐसे ज्यादा बार कर लो कान के।
ಬನ್ನಿ ಸರ್, ಮುಂದೆ ಬನ್ನಿ ಸರ್. ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ದಯವಿಟ್ಟು ಹೋಗಿ ಸರ್. ಸೈಡ್ ಹೋಗಿ ಸರ್, ಸೈಡ್ ಹಾಕಿ. ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ ಆದ್ರೆ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ. ಸೈಡ್ ನಿಂತ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಸರ್.
बता सबके थे दे जो आई काट देना बार वाले के नाल उड़ा मैडम हो जाए ये आ जाओ थले ए तो बड़ा बड़ा कौन खट्टन लगे दिन बार नहीं दा जो ए केड़ा का आना है मिल गया इन्हां में मिले दो लो दो दे दीदी दो दूजा घर घेरा वा ले मत आलो तेल में चलो दो चल बाकी ठीक है। अपने घरों में आपको घरों में ही सब कुछ मिलेगा। नहीं अगर कुछ नहीं राशि दी ना साड़ी में।
The day after standing maskless on the White House balcony before a crowd packed shoulder to shoulder, Donald Trump today in an interview on Fox News made clear that when it comes to him and COVID,
looks like I'm immune for, I don't know, maybe a long time or maybe a short time. It could be a lifetime. Nobody really knows, but I'm immune.
just days after being released from hospital after treatment for COVID, Trump's doctor released a statement overnight saying the president is no longer contagious. He did not say Trump had tested negative. Trump tweeted, "That means I can't get it and I can't give it." But Twitter then promptly attached this warning to Trump's tweet, suggesting the president may be spreading misleading and potentially harmful information. All of it with the president sliding further in public opinion polls, not least over his handling of the pandemic.
President Trump is recovering from the coronavirus.
So consider this new ad from the Trump campaign with what seems to be a high-profile endorsement of Trump's response to the crisis.
I can't imagine that anybody could be doing more.
Except Anthony Fauci, lead White House scientist on COVID, says his words from months ago were taken out of context, that he was speaking broadly about federal officials, not the president. It's clear Trump is keen to signal personal and political strength. After that campaign-style event yesterday, Trump, now self-describing as immune from COVID, will stage rallies this week in multiple states. That begins tomorrow in Florida, a state that's lately been expecting another COVID spike. Still, says Trump, he feels great. Immunity, he said this morning, means having a protective glow. And to have that, he said, is important. Paul Hunter, CBC News, Washington.
So President Trump was discharged from Walter Reed Medical Center exactly 1 week ago, and many details of his recovery are still unknown. In another interview yesterday on Fox News, the president claimed that he is now immune to the virus.
The note that you have revealed from your doctor, which says you are no longer considered a transmission risk, does this suggest you no longer have COVID, sir?
Yes, and not only that, it seems like I'm immune. I passed the highest test, the highest standards, and I'm in great shape. And I have to tell you, I feel fantastically. I really feel good. And I even feel good by the fact that, the word immunity means something, having really a protective glow means something. I think it's very important to have that.
Glow. If he really has that protective glow now, it raises the question, Joe, as to whether he had it knowingly during the presidential debate, which he showed up late to.
Actually, he didn't have the glow during the debate. In fact, he was in horrid shape during the debate. He looked bad during the debate, and he performed so badly during the debate that Republicans across the country lost 3, 4, 5 points after his performance. So, no, that protective glow, I wish we knew, but we won't know. And we're going to get to this more throughout the entire show. But Donald Trump, Lindsey Graham, Charles Grassley, Republicans all refusing to take tests because, well, they just want to steamroll ahead with things, with campaigns, with hearings, and they really don't give a damn whether they're putting their staff, whether they're putting fellow senators, whether they're putting the entire institution
and themselves at risk. It's worth pointing out that the note released on Saturday night by the president's physician, Dr. Sean Conley, didn't mention anything about immunity or a glow. He wrote that the president is no longer a transmission risk to others and added that he will continue to monitor the president as he returns to an active schedule. The president also tweeted that he is now immune to the virus, which was tagged by Twitter as misleading. While many health experts believe that most people develop an immune response after a coronavirus infection, it is not clear how strong that response is or how long it might last.
Well, we don't know whether he has the infection or not, again, because they won't tell us anything inside the White House. We're supposed to guess, and we've been, asking, Mika. Everybody's been asking, when was your last negative test?
Well, he called into a virtual event last night where he told supporters he had tested negative for coronavirus. But his own doctors have not confirmed that. And the White House has so far continued to refuse to give any information on when the president last tested negative.
And I've been tested totally negative. I'm going to be out in Florida tomorrow working very hard because this is an election we have to win. This is the most important election of our lives.
When was the president's last negative test prior to his diagnosis?
So we don't have that.
You said you don't have that. You don't know or you don't want to say?
So we don't have that. I don't personally know.
Right. What does that mean? Have you asked, Brian? I think Wednesday you said you were going to look into that.
So Hallie, the president doesn't check all of his HIPAA rights at the door just when he becomes president.
So it's a privacy thing then, the reason why you're not saying the last negative test? HIPAA?
So that is one reason.
Let me ask you this. Did the president at least comply with the Cleveland Clinic debate requirements to be negative tested in the 72 hours prior to that debate? Was the president in compliance with that?
Backwards.
Again, yes or no? Do you have an answer?
Hallie,
and if you don't, just say you don't have an answer.
You've got time to talk to the White House about very important issues.
Actually, good job, Hallie. Focused on looking backwards, Joe, once again, because I'll tell you, there's a lot of questions, obvious questions, about whether or not the president was completely contagious during the presidential debate, putting former Vice President Joe Biden, his family, his own family, putting everybody there, members of the media, at risk, putting his team at risk of having coronavirus so he could get up on that stage and bloviate and run over people and interrupt and look sick. Mm-hmm. So the question is, was he sick during the debate? And did he know?
Yeah, well, so we do need to look back. We need to find out. Whether Donald Trump knowingly went on stage and knowingly went on stage knowing that he had a disease that could get everybody in there, including Joe Biden, sick. We need to understand that also because of his family members who arrogantly took off their masks against the Cleveland Clinic rules. Again, these are people
turned them down when they were offered masks.
These are people who Republicans, I guess, feel like they live by their own standards. Mm-hmm. They live by their own rules with a nation that's combating a coronavirus. It's killed over 215,000 people, mind you. I mean, that's over 3 Vietnams. That's over 2 World War I's for U.S. troops dying. But they refused then. And it's also, Jonathan Lemire, it's not just about looking back, which is very important. We need to know.
Thanks for checking out MSNBC on YouTube, and make sure you subscribe to stay up to date on the day's biggest stories. And you can click on any of the videos around us to watch more from Morning Joe and MSNBC. Thanks so much for watching.